सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो नमः। ॐ नमः। 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 अच्युताय नमः। श्री अनन्ताय नमः। अच्युताय नमः। श्री अनन्ताय नमः। सुन्दराय नमः। सुरवन्दिताय नमः। सुन्दराय नमः। सुरवन्दिताय नमः। माधवाय नमः। मधुसूदनाय नमः। माधवाय नमः। मधुसूदनाय नमः। कारणाय नमः। नारायणाय नमः। कारणाय नमः। नारायणाय नमः। ॐ नमो नमः। ॐ नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः. So yesterday we have seen how the entire Mother Nature prepares to receive the Lord. So yesterday we also saw when Bhagavan was born through the womb of Devaki. So what was that form of the Lord? So verse number 9 and 10. Tamadbhutam balakamambujekshanam chaturbhujam shankhagadayudayudham Srivatsalakshmam galashobhikaustubham Pitambaram sandrapayodasaubhagam Maharhavaidurya kirita kundala Tvishaparishvakta sahasrakuntalam Uddamakanchangada kankanadibihi Virochamanam Vasudeva Aikshata. Yes. So, those who are taking classes for small children, you must know how to explain this form to the children. Okay. So as teachers, you must have different levels of explaining the same thing. Small children, what you should explain, this is what you should explain. Because the small children have tremendous ability to imagine, to visualize. So that beautiful form of the Lord, Balakam Ambujekshanam, beautiful eyes, beautiful face, smiling. Right? Chaturbhujam, the four hands, Shankha Gadaryudayudham, with Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma in the hands. Srivatsalakshmam, with a Srivatsa mark on the chest. Galashobhi Kaustubham, with the Kaustubha mani hanging on the neck. Pitambaram, yellow dress. Sandra Payoda Saubhagam, bluish in color. So you narrate in a way that the whole picture gets very clear in little minds. Okay? Yesterday I told one technique of meditation also. What is that? So that beautiful picture, show it to the children. Ask them to look, stare at that photo and remember all the details. Then ask them to close the eyes and visualize that form. Let them do it for 2-3 times. And then take away the photo. Then start quiz. Based on that photo, quiz. What is there on the, on the hands? What all things did you see? What all things did you see on the kirita? What was there on the neck? What is the color of the dress? You ask. So then they will remember and tell. This is one exercise you can do. Okay? Now, for the higher students, this technique will not work. Why? They will start questioning everything. That's how it is. As we grow, the intellect also grows, and when the intellect grows, the intellect starts questioning everything. So then, this explanation for the same thing will be different. What will be the explanation? So then use Puja Gurudev's symbolism in Hinduism. So what is the explanation to be given? Balakam Ambujekshanam, lotus eye. So how will you explain that? Lotus means perfection. So in Hinduism, whenever you use the term lotus, it means perfection. Why this particular flower is used to indicate perfection? This particular flower, this lotus is used to indicate perfection because everything related to lotus is beautiful. It is growing in dirty water, not a very clean water, but in that lotus we find beauty. From dirty to beauty. In that lotus you find fragrance. That water is a smelly water, but from that stinking water, the lotus is able to bring out the fragrance. Right? Again, there is this honey inside, the sweetness, because of which these bees come hovering around. You see? And moreover, this lotus is ever open to the light of the sun. It is ever open to the light and it is ever close to darkness. So this is how our life must be. This is called perfection. It is not that the lotus is, happy because the environment is happy. No. Even in the bitter environment, it is bringing out the fragrance. It is bringing out everything beautiful. This is the glory of lotus. In the same way, we will have very many bitter experiences, but these bitter experiences must not make us bitter. It should make us better. This is the message. So just like that lotus which is ever open to light and ever close to darkness, in the same way, in this world, everything is there. Good is there, bad is there. You must always be open to everything good and you must be close to everything bad. Ignore everything bad, take everything good. This is the way to live. So lotus is teaching us how to live our life. This is perfect living. To indicate that perfect living, we are using the example of lotus. And of course, lotus is a beautiful flower. So when it is said lotus, eye means what? So like the petal of the lotus, the eyes are beautiful. That is only a superficial meaning. Symbolic meaning has to be used. In the same way, Chaturbhujam, when the youngsters ask question, what is this 4 hands? We have only 2 hands. So it is symbolic. It is not some, some handicap, some extra growth here and there. Some people have extra fingers and all that. In the same way, no, it is symbolic. What is the symbolism? You see what is being carried. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So, Bhagavan is constantly guiding us. Every moment he is guiding us through that voice of conscience. So that voice of conscience is the Shankhanada, most auspicious voice. That voice which is constantly guiding us towards the path of truth, towards the path of liberation, towards the path of auspiciousness, sacredness, divinity. That is the Shankhanada, the voice of conscience. Every moment Bhagavan is lovingly guiding us. So we must listen to that guidance. And if you are listening to this guidance, everything auspicious will happen to you. You will ever be protected by the divine hands. Nothing inauspicious will happen. Because it is Bhagavan's promise, Name Bhaktaha Pranashyati. My devotee shall never perish. Who are Bhagavan's devotees? Those who listen to him, those who obey him. Whatever pleases Bhagavan, those who do that, they are called as devotees. Whatever pleases me, I will do. That is not the sign of a devotee. That is a sign of ego. Sign of Sharanagati is, I do what pleases Bhagavan. They are called as devotees. And what is the promise of the Lord? Name Bhakta Pranashyati. So those people who listen to this Shankhanada, what do they get? So Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. They get Padma. Padma means perfection. They attain to the state of perfection. They realize their perfect self. They attain that nature, Satchidananda Swarupa. That is lotus. But then sometimes, tempted by these worldly pleasures, we don't listen to that voice. Sometimes we forget God. Sometimes we disobey God. At that time, what happens? There is Gada. What is Gada? He will knock us now and then, set us straight. Little sufferings come, little pain comes. So all these pains and sufferings are only to correct ourselves, to set us right. So warning signals come. If you are not listening to the voice from within, the first warning comes as the conscience prick. But if you are not able to listen, then from the external world, some gross indications come in the form of pain, in the form of tragedy, to set us right. That is Gada. Mild, correcting measures. But if that also doesn't correct, if you are totally deaf to these indications, to that correcting measure, then slowly the correcting measure becomes more and more intense. And finally, if we totally neglect God, live an asuric life, Shastravidhim utsrujya vartate kamakaratah, living a licentious life, not following the injunctions of the scriptures, not listening to the wise people in the society, becoming a threat to the whole world with our selfishness, narrow-mindedness, sensuality, then comes what? Chakra. Bas. Then the destruction is the final option. Samadhana Bheda, if it doesn't work, then the final thing is Danda. So this is the way the youngsters have to be. Right. And then Srivatsa Lakshmam, there is a mark, Srivatsa mark on the chest of Bhagavan. You know what that mark is? So there is a famous story. How did that mark on the chest of Bhagavan come? So that mark is called Srivatsa. So in an assembly of the sages, there was one debate. Who is the greatest among the Trimurtis? Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Who is the greatest? Is it Brahma or Vishnu or Maheshwara? So then Bhrigu Rishi was asked to find out. So first he went to Brahmaji. Now what is the relationship between Bhrigu and Brahma? Bhrigu is the son, Manasa Putra of Brahmaji. So Brahmaji is the father. So Bhrigu went there and he did not prostrate. Stubborn, he just stood there. Brahmaji was very angry looking at this. But he did not say anything. With great difficulty, he controlled his anger and kept quiet. Okay. Then Bhrigu Rishi went to Kailasa, Lord Shiva. Shiva Bhagavan came running to embrace him. Bhrigu said, "Go away, you are an impure fellow, I will not embrace you." Shiva became very angry and he was going to attack Parvati Amma. She came and interfered, stopped. Then he went to Vaikuntha. Bhagavan was lying there. He gave one kick to the chest of Bhagavan. And then Vishnu Bhagavan, he immediately got up. And then he said, "Oh Rishi, please forgive me. Such a great Rishi like you came and then I am lying down like this. No, this is improper. Now to remember this mistake which I have done, I will always keep this mark. This mark where you have kicked me. Oh Rishi, I am sure your lotus foot must have been injured because of my stone heart. You have kicked on a stone." So then this Vishnu started massaging the feet of Bhrigu. And then Bhrigu Rishi declares to the world, Among all the three, the greatest is Vishnu. So this is the story. Now what is the problem with this story? If you are a Shiva devotee, so what is the answer you should give? See, all our Puranas are written in such a way that whichever Purana is belonging to a particular god, that particular god will be praised. If Shiva Purana is there, then in Shiva Purana, Shiva will be the greatest. In Vishnu Purana, Vishnu will be the greatest. Why did the Rishi Munis do all these things? Rishi Muni did all these things so that we will have single pointedness when we worship a Lord. You must have single pointed devotion unto the feet of your Ishta Devata. For bringing out this single pointedness, they had to do this deliberately, bringing down all the other deities and praising your deity. The purpose is not to point out that all others are inferior. The purpose is only to bring this single pointedness, which is absolutely essential. Ananya Bhakti is absolutely essential. Whichever the God may be, but there should be Ananya Bhakti. If you have Bhakti in so many gods, then what is the problem? Your love becomes shared. And anything which is shared becomes less. So have single point. Choose one Devata and you need to worship only that Devata. You see all the Mahatmas. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, only one. What? Mother Kali. Mirabai, only one. What? Krishna. Tulsidas ji, only one. What? Rama. This is the way you must develop your devotion for the Lord. Single pointed. Right. So this is the way you have to explain all these controversial issues. So this Srivatsa mark on the chest of Bhagavan is only showing how much he loves his devotees. That is the point. How much he cares for his devotees. His care, his concern, his love. Srivatsa Lakshmam Galachobhi Kaustubham. This Kaustubham money. What is a symbolic representation? So just like that money is shining in the heart of the Lord, in the same way the Lord is shining in the hearts of every one of us. He is residing in the heart to indicate that Kaustubha money is given. And where did this Kaustubha money come from? It came after Samudra Mathanam. The churning of that milky ocean. In that churning, so many wonderful things came. One is Kaustubha money. In the same way, when you churn your heart using the scriptural statements, in that heart is born this great jewel, the presence of the Lord. You start experiencing His presence in your heart. This presence of the Lord is the Kaustubha money, the most precious thing. Right? So this is the way our children have to be guided. Then, why is he why is he blue in color? Sandra Payoda Saubhagam. So what is the answer? Anything infinite is blue. The infinite sky is blue in color. This infinite ocean is blue in color. So to indicate that Bhagavan is infinite, we have this infinite color given to Bhagavan. So he is bluish in color. But then why is he wearing yellow dress? Yellow represents matter. That infinite Bhagavan wearing covered by matter envelopment. But why yellow in color? So Puja Gurudev gives a beautiful answer. He says, anything when it decays, it starts becoming yellow. Yellow is the color of earth. All the five, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha is present in earth. And the color of earth is yellow. A paper, as it becomes old, what color does it take? Yellow. So, to indicate that infinite Lord has taken up matter, envelopment, which is body. That is why Pitambaram, this yellow dress, is used. Right? So this is the way explanations have to be given. But now, if they start asking this question, somewhere some Bhagavan you say is born somewhere in Dwapar Yuga, what has he to do with me? Why should I worship him? Or sometimes the question is, I am so unfortunate. When Bhagavan was born, I was not there. This feeling generally comes in the minds of the devotees. What an unfortunate fellow I am. Those people had such wonderful times, Gopas and Gopis. Why is it I was not born? So then, what is the answer to be given? My dear, you know why Bhagavan was born? Bhagavan is born only to indicate that, oh my dear child, I am already there in you. You don't have to be born in Dwapara Yuga to experience me. I am there. Avajananti mam mudhaha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajanantah mama bhuta maheshwaram. Bhagavad Gita. Avajananti, people disregard me, ignore me. I am there in them. Manushim tanum ashritam. I am there in every human being. Param bhavam ajananta, they don't know my glory. Mama bhuta maheshwaram, I am the Lord of the universe. I am there in their heart as the very consciousness in them, as the very self in them. But unfortunately, alas, avajananti, nobody pays attention to me. So this Vedantic concept has to be explained when such questions arise in the mind. Don't worry, you did not see that beautiful form of the Lord. Don't worry, but that Lord has taken that form only to indicate that I am already there in you as the very consciousness. That was the purpose of that avatar. To turn our attention within, to make us feel the presence of the Lord as the consciousness in us, as the self in us. So this is the topic now we are going to discuss. Okay? Now, solid Vedantic concepts are going to be discussed now. Okay? So, we were discussing verse number 13. Viditosi bhavan sakshat purushah prakrteh parah kevalanubhavananda swarupas sarva buddhidrak. Yes. Bhagavan, I see you. So now this Vasudeva, though he is seeing Krishna there in front with all the four hands, etc., beautiful form. Now this is a stuti of Vasudeva. Bhagavan, I know who you are. This form, don't try to delude me with this form. You are none other than the self in me, the consciousness in me. So the description is all about the self. Who are you? Sakshat Purushaha. You are that supreme being. Prakritehe Paraha, which is beyond Prakriti. You have nothing to do with matter. Though the form which is seen in front of me is nothing but Prakriti, the five elements, the physical body, but I know you are not Prakriti, you are beyond Prakriti. What is beyond Prakriti? What is beyond five elements? What is the only thing which is beyond five elements? Consciousness. Consciousness has nothing to do with elements. Understand this. And what is the nature of consciousness? Sarva buddhi druk. Where do you find this consciousness? It is always there as a witness of our thoughts. And what is its nature? Kevala Anubhava Ananda Surupaha. Satchidananda Surupava. Anubhava means experience. Consciousness is something which we experience every moment. So, existence, consciousness, bliss. This is your nature. So now if this is the definition of Krishna, where is he? Do you have to be born in Dwapara Yuga to experience Him? No, He's right here. You know, every one of us, we are experiencing Him. This is real Krishna, okay? Every moment that consciousness is shining in our heart as awareness, we are aware of everything in His light. This way, we have to understand Krishna. So then we find that Krishna is always with us. Now, the topic taken up is, how did this world come into existence? So here, this topic is very important because now what is going to be discussed is, this world has no separate existence on its own. It is nothing but a projection on consciousness. This is the topic. The whole world has no independent existence. It is existing upon consciousness, the self, the I in us. Right? Just like the whole movie exists on a screen, what exists is not the movie, what exists is only the screen. The whole movie is a projection on the screen. In the same way, the whole world which we see to be so real and solid, it has no existence on its own. It is existing upon the self. The self is giving existence to the world. This is the topic. Right? So now, the first question which normally the seekers ask is, what is the need for projection of this world? People ask, why did God send me to this world? I did not ask Him. Why did He send me? It is because He sent me to this world that I am suffering. So who is the cause of all my suffering? Bhagavan is the cause. Without taking my permission, He sent me to the world. So, to answer all these questions, our fundamental should be very, very clear. So this consciousness which we are experiencing, this aham in me, the I, this is the reality, this is the substratum. Okay? That is represented by Om. That Om means I, the pure I. Not the impure I, not the ego. The pure I, which is pure consciousness. Upon this consciousness, the world is projected. But the question is, why is the world projected? So the reason is, we. We means vasanas. We means desires. So I desired the world, so therefore the world is projected upon consciousness in me. I desired it. Remember, God did not desire. I desired it. But why did I desire? I desired it because I thought world will give me happiness. What I want is happiness. I thought the world will give me happiness, so therefore, with my permission, the world was projected in me. But then why should I seek happiness when I am already Ananda Swarupa? The very fact that you are seeking happiness shows that you don't know who you are. So the starting point is avidya, self-ignorance. I don't know who I am. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya uses these three terms, avidya, kama, karma. From avidya comes kama, desire for the world. And from desire comes karma, actions in the world. So this is the sequence. I don't know who I am. Ananda is already my nature, but I don't know. And because I don't know my own self, the true nature of myself, I have a desire for happiness in the outer world. So V means vasana. You can put even ignorance also, avidya also you can put, nothing wrong. So this Om, the pure consciousness, upon this pure consciousness, so each and every one of us, we are none other than Paramatma, ignorant Paramatma, we can say, not knowing oneself. And now we have a desire. Desire for what? Desire for the world. Why am I desiring the world? Actually, it is not the world which I am desiring, it is happiness which I am desiring. But then I think world will give me happiness, therefore I am desiring the world. And the moment I have this desire, three things have to come. The moment I desire a world, three things have to come. What are the three things? The field of experience, number one. The instruments to experience, number two. And the experiencer. These three has to be there. If I want to experience the world and derive joy out of it, three factors have to be there. What are they? The field of experience, which is here represented by OET. The instruments of experience, which is represented by BMI. And then the experiencer. Who is the experiencer? PFT. I hope you know all these full forms. BMI is body, mind, intellect. PFI is perceiver, feeler, thinker, PFT. And OET is objects, emotions, thoughts. Right? So here is a person who has desire to become a great football player. So what will happen? What will be the OETs? So who is desiring? Om is desiring. What is the desire? To become a great football player. So where will it go? It will go in V, the vasana, the football vasana. So this football vasana will push him into a world, or rather upon him, the pure consciousness, a world of football will be created. So if he has to become a great football player, what all are the objects needed? First of all, football is needed. Then there should be admirers. Then there should be a stadium. Then there is a football world of its own. Everything will come in O. Then there are emotions. When he wins, he is joyful. When he loses, he is miserable. That is E, the world of emotions. Then there is a world of thought. What is that? What are the different tricks and talents and techniques to become a better player? So that will come under T, the world of thoughts. So that desire is creating a world for him. But to play football, what is needed? Instrument is needed, body is needed. So the body is designed in such a way that he can play football better. He trains the body. Yes or no? Body, mind, intellect. They are the instruments necessary to fulfill his desire to become a great football player. But then who is experiencing it? The PFT. He is the one who is experiencing the joys and sorrows. Who is this PFT? This PFT is none other than Om with the football vasana projected on consciousness. So who is PFT? The experiencer? None other than Om. So Jivatma is none other than Paramatma with the football vasana. This is one example. So different vasanas. Football vasana, music vasana, ye vasana, wo vasana. Correct? So is this picture clear? So who is responsible for this projection of this world? Don't blame the Lord. It is my own desire which is creating projections in my mind. The mind projects. What is the masala for projection? The masala is we, the desires. Right. So we create world for ourselves through our vasanas. And what will happen if the desires stop? Can we stop all our desires? Yes. When this PFT comes to know that I am already Ananda Swarupa, why should I seek Ananda from the world? My nature is Ananda. Kevala Anubhava Ananda Swarupa. Ananda is my nature. Infinite bliss is my nature. Why should I seek it from the world? The moment PFT realizes his own self and experiences Ananda, what happens to we? The desires? All the desires end. When all the desires end, the masala for projection is gone, dried up. So then what happens? Projection stops. When projection stops, what happens? World disappears. Then what remains? Only Satchidananda Atma remains. This is called as liberation. Right? This is called as liberation. Projections must stop with right knowledge. The whole projection is because of avidya. When vidya is destroyed, when avidya is destroyed by vidya, then kama is destroyed, karma is destroyed, jiva bhava is destroyed, everything is gone, then there is only pure consciousness. You revel in bliss. This is called as liberation. This is the purpose of life. So if you have understood this, then let us go to the next stage. Shall we go? Yes. Later. So, now let us see verse number 14. Sa eva swaprakrtyedam srishtva trigunatmakam tadanutvam hya pravishta iva bhavyase. Yes, sa eva, that pure consciousness alone. Swaprakritya idam srishtva agre trigunatmakam. Idam trigunatmakam srishtva. That consciousness now is projecting the world. How? Swaprakritya, by one's own prakriti. So now, here there are certain things which we need to know. How this creation is formed. So it is said, Bhagavan creates, this world with the power of his Maya. So this Maya has to be understood now. So how is this creation projected upon consciousness? With the power of Maya. Swaprakritya trigunatmakam agre srishtva. So this Maya has to be understood. So now we are going to discuss some of the definitions of Maya. So number 1, Brahmashraya Maya. What is Maya? Maya is that which has always the ashraya of Brahman. What does it mean? Maya by itself has no existence. It depends on Brahman for existence. Whenever I use term Brahman, what you have to understand? Pure consciousness, Satchidananda Swarupa. So, the first definition of Maya, Brahmashraya Maya. Maya, this power by itself has no existence. It depends on Brahman for his existence. Exactly like movie by itself has no existence. What exists is the screen. So, screen ashraya movie. That way. Okay. Or waker ashraya dreamer or dream world. Dream world by itself has no existence. What exists is the waker. Waker's existence itself becomes the dream world's existence. So this is definition number 1. Brahmashraya Maya. Where have you heard this, by the way? Tattva Bodha. Now I am going to make lot of references from Tattva Bodha. So those who have studied, you will find comfortable. Those who have not studied, you come to study class and study it. Unless those fundamentals are there, it is very difficult to understand Bhagavatam. Don't think Bhagavatam is a story and you can just listen and go. Why we should study the basic test? Now you will understand. Because there is no explanation given here. They will just tell something and move forward. So the fundamentals have to be very clear. Only then these verses will make sense. Okay. So Brahmashraya Maya. Maya depends on Brahman for his existence. What is Maya? It is the power of the Lord. Definition number 2 for Maya. Avarana vikshepatmika Maya. What does this Maya do? It has 2 powers. Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti. 2 powers of Maya. Avarana, veiling, covering. Vikshepa, projecting. This is what Maya does. It covers the reality, it projects the unreal. Covers the real, projects the unreal. What exactly do you mean by covering? Can the unreal cover the real? Is it possible? So we say, no, it is not possible. Then what exactly do you mean by covering? So here, we have to understand, covering means shifting your attention, distracting your attention from the real. That is called covering the real. Because unreal can never cover the real. But yes, unreal can distract you. Real is that thing which is always existing. An existent reality, how can you cover? You can't cover. But yes, your attention can be distracted. Let me give an example. So this human body, what is it made of? 5 elements. But when you get attached to a person, are you seeing the 5 elements? My grandchild! What are you seeing there? Though you are very clearly seeing the 5 elements, but your mind is distracted from the reality, and now you get caught up in that name and form. Yes or no? This is called veiling. This is called covering. Covering is not like you take a bed sheet and then cover. It is not like that. So this covering of Maya has to be understood. It is taking away your attention. You are seeing, pashyannapi chana pashyati mudha. That is the thing. Though seeing, you are not seeing. That is called as covering. And that is why pancha kosha. Kosha means covering, sheath. What are the pancha koshas? Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, anandamaya kosha. Where does it come? Tattva bodh. See? Kosha, covering. Annamaya kosha. Annamaya kosha means what? Food sheath. Annam. This body is nothing but annam. Annamayam. It is full of food only. But it is a kosha. It covers. Now people who study Tattva for the first time, they think, oh, so Atma is inside and covered by this body, It is not like that. It's not that there is something inside and you cover like a packet, or they give the example of sword kept in that cover. It is not like that. Your attention is so much upon the body that your attention is distracted from consciousness. That is called covering. Consciousness is always there. But where is your attention now? Not upon consciousness, but upon the physical body. Now you are worried about your birth, death, disease, old age. That is called as covering. You are no more paying attention to the reality. You have been distracted. Maya projects that the body is important and consciousness can be ignored. It veils consciousness and projects the body. This is what Maya does. Avarana vikshepatmika Maya. In the same way, pranamaya kosha, how does it cover the self? The function of prana is hunger and thirst. So you are so much occupied by hunger and thirst. How are you occupied by hunger and thirst? Varieties of cuisines, recipes. How much varieties of food? Who is the inspirer? Hunger. Who else? Isn't it? So you are so much distracted. Prana can be distractive. So your attention goes. Hunger and thirst becomes the most important thing. And you take away your attention from consciousness. This is Pranamaya Kosha. Prana, the functionings of the body becomes more important. And then Manomaya Kosha. What is Manomaya Kosha? You are so carried away by your emotions, joys and sorrows, likes and dislikes, that your attention goes away from consciousness. That is Manomaya Kosha. Then Vijnanamaya Kosha. What is Vijnanamaya Kosha? Your intellect is so busy cause hunting. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? How is this made? How is that made? Your intellect is constantly asking questions. Many times irrelevant questions. What is there in the moon? What is there in the sun? Let me find out what is here. What is there? Arey Baba, what are you doing? The self is here shining. The Lord is here ever paying attention to you, ever asking you to come. But your attention is, this is Vijnanamaya Kosha. Distracted. And then the last one, Anandamaya Kosha. What is Anandamaya Kosha? Instead of seeking Ananda in the self, you found some pleasure in the sense object. And now instead of looking within, you are looking out, searching for the pleasure in the world, in the sense object. So what has happened? This has been covered, that has been projected. Your attention goes towards what is projected, the illusions, and thus you miss the reality. Priya, Moda, Pramoda. You think of that object, there is joy. And when you see the object, there is even more joy. Moda. And when you indulge in that object, oh, greatest joy. Pramoda. That is Anandamaya Kosha. Remember, that is also Kosha. Many people misunderstand Anandamaya Atma with Anandamaya Kosha. Please understand, it is a Kosha. Kosha means what? Something which is preventing you from knowing that blissful self. Anandamaya Kosha is not Anandamaya Atma. It's a Kosha, it's a covering. Right. So this is, what did I say? Avarana Vikshepatmika Maya. This is what Maya does. The reality is covered. The illusion is projected and your attention is taken away from reality and you are deluded by illusion. This is another power of Maya. So what is the first definition? Brahmashraya Maya. What is the second definition? Avarana Vikshepatmika Maya. Now the third definition we will see in the next class. After half an hour. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरि ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।